Manhunts, murder, and law enforcement officials being sent to jail. Lexi Bruning takes a look back at the crimes and trials that 7 News covered in 2025.
An Adams resident and former corrections officer got the maximum sentence, 25 years to life, in a case that made national headlines. In his October trial, David Kingsley was convicted of killing Marcy correctional inmate Robert Brooks in December 2024.
Words cannot express how truly saddened and heartbroken I am that I was involved in such a tragic event that took someone's loved one from them.
In late September, a murder suspect defended himself in Jefferson County Court and accused the prosecution of making him look guilty. In the end, the prosecution succeeded, and earlier this month, Jonathan Melendez was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison for the 2024 murder of 88-year-old Rena Eves.
It's very clear to me that this community, or any community, is not safe with you around.
In Lewis County, another trial. Pennsylvania native Jacob Van Bergen found guilty of causing his friend Brandon Shepker's death in early 2024. He will spend 25 years to life in prison. An accused murderer in St. Lawrence County never made it to trial. John Free, accused of killing his friend Brian Barr in 2024, died by suicide in his St. Lawrence County jail cell in March. In April, crime made its way into a Carthage elementary school. Substitute teacher Lowell Williams was arrested after he allegedly inappropriately touched third-grade students. In Lewis County, 44-year-old Nicole Leindecker will spend 3 years in prison for raping a boy under the age of 17. In March, 19-year-old Connor Gravlin was charged in a December crash that killed 2 well-known Messina residents. Nearly a week after allegedly fleeing the scene of a fatal crash in Canton, 44-year-old Herbert Planty was found and charged.
It was a blood-curdling scream. She screamed.
It woke me up out of my sleep.
In September, neighbors at a Dexter apartment complex were shocked to wake up to an alleged attempted murder. Officials searched nearly 12 hours before finding the person of interest, 16-year-old Riley Shank. An incident at the Jefferson County Public Safety Building led to the arrest of Watertown Police Lieutenant James Spencer. The 35-year veteran of the police department was charged with endangering the welfare of a child after allegedly using force to place a 9-year-old boy on the ground. Come 2026, several trials are likely on the docket, including the case against Thomas Rose. Rose is accused of killing 2-year-old Aurora Wiles in December 2024. The child's mother, Sarah Waterman, took a plea deal in the case.
We're all just playing a waiting game, and it's just like a nightmare that, won't end, ever.
On Fort Drum, the parents of specialist Jacob Ashton await the trial of their son's alleged killer. Riley Brabillis is accused of killing Ashton, his roommate, on post in 2024. After being deemed unfit for trial, his trial is delayed until he gets treatment. Lexi Bruning, 7 News.